Okay, let's unpack this deep dive. Today, we are really zeroing in on one of Dragon Ball's most, well, incredible character journeys,
Yeah.
Piccolo.
Yeah, Piccolo.
We're going to track his evolution, from his origins as basically pure evil
Right, the Demon King's son.
through becoming this surprising protector, a mentor figure, all the way to his latest massive power-up, Orange Piccolo.
And we've got a good pile of sources here, articles, detailed notes, research, really digging into Piccolo's whole history, his transformations, and yeah, the specifics of this orange form.
So our goal really is to guide you through all that, pull out the key stuff.
Cut through the noise, basically. We want to give you those like aha
Yeah.
moments about him. Understand the Namekian Enigma a bit better.
Absolutely. And to really get where Piccolo is now, you kind of have to start right at the beginning. He wasn't just some random villain. He was literally born from the dying breath of King Piccolo, his kid, his reincarnation, designed purely for revenge.
He bursts onto the scene as the big bad for the end of the original Dragon Ball series, the ultimate rival.
And his personality back then, it totally matched that origin. Ruthless. Just wanted world domination.
Oh, yeah. A seriously scary enemy for Goku.
That fight they had, 23rd World Martial Arts Tournament, it's legendary for how brutal it was.
It really is. The sources make a point of it. Piccolo deliberately breaking Goku's arms and legs. He
Yeah.
wasn't playing around. He was the villain.
He even used the alias Ma Jr., right?
Yeah, and that Ma literally means demon. He was leaning into it. No hiding his nature back then.
His look was pretty much set early on, though, wasn't it? Tall, muscular.
That classic purple gi, the white turban and cape. Standard Piccolo gear.
There was that weird detail, though, about his fingers.
Oh, right. 4 fingers in the manga, but then 5 in the anime and the super manga. Just one of those little inconsistencies.
And the patches on his arms, sometimes pink, sometimes yellow. Depends on what you're looking at.
But what's really fascinating, and it happens relatively quickly, is how that pure villainy starts to, well, crack.
The Saiyans showing up. That's the big turning point.
Exactly. This huge, overwhelming threat just forces this alliance. Very reluctant, between him and Goku.
And that leads to the moment that changes everything for Piccolo's character arc. Training Gohan.
Taking on Goku's kid.
Yeah.
That's the pivot.
This whole responsibility, this connection with a child who, importantly, didn't see him as just a monster.
It really did transform him. Slowly, maybe, but definitely. Those purely evil traits started fading. He formed this really deep bond with Gohan.
The sources really stress that bond, especially his sacrifice, saving Gohan from Nappa.
And his last words then weren't about hate or revenge. They were about Gohan, his affection for him. It's a huge shift.
It's interesting. The sources mention Mr. Popo and Kami watching this change happen.
Right, and Kami apparently thought maybe Piccolo sensed his own end coming and saw Gohan as a way to leave, like a positive legacy behind.
It underscores how key Gohan was.
Yeah.
First person to see past the Demon King's son thing.
Yeah, and it built this relationship, almost like a stern but loving uncle. It's a really unique redemption story rooted in that mentorship.
Okay, so he starts as this demonic heir, becomes a mentor. But then his whole identity gets another layer peeled back. Planet Namek.
Right, he finds out he's not just a demon, he's a Namekian. An alien.
And then comes that first big power jump fusing with Nail.
On Namek, yeah. It wasn't just like adding power levels, it was integrating with another Namekian warrior. It gave him a huge boost. Enough to actually challenge Frieza for a bit.
Frieza's second form, yeah. Impressive, but temporary.
But the really, really big one, the game changer, happens back on Earth. When he fuses with Kami.
Ah, yes. Becoming whole again.
That's how the sources describe it. Creating the ultimate Namekian warrior. It wasn't just power, it was restoring his true essence, merging the two halves of the original Namekian.
And the power boost was immense.
Huge. The sources specifically say that, at that moment, he was actually stronger than the Super Saiyans.
Which is kind of wild, right? A Namekian through fusion, surpassing Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta at that point.
It's a massive statement about Namekian potential and the power of that specific fusion. And it wasn't just raw power he got.
No, he got Kami's wisdom too. All that knowledge.
Which apparently had wider effects, maybe even on the Dragon Balls themselves. It's an interesting side note.
And you really see him use that new power and, maybe more importantly, that new strategic sense against the androids.
And Cell, yeah. He becomes the tactical mind. Analyzing, directing, fighting smart, not just hard.
That fusion really cements his role, doesn't it?
Nah.
Even when others surpass him in sheer power later, he's still the strategist.
The Namekian wisdom, amplified by Kami's perspective, it becomes invaluable to the team.
And that role, the mentor and the strategist, it really sticks with him.
Oh, absolutely. He keeps guiding the next generation. You see it in the Buu saga, teaching Goten and Trunks the fusion dance. Patiently. Well, Piccolo, patiently.
Still stern, but effective.
And he's always the one calling the shots in battle, giving tactical advice. The field commander.
His commitment to Gohan never wavers either. Even in Super, he's pushing him.
Sometimes pretty harshly, yeah. But it's to get Gohan to rediscover that fighting instinct, unlock his own potential again.
It's not all just training and fighting, though. The sources do mention him softening, just a bit.
Showing up at Bulma's parties, Gohan's wedding, he's still stoic, but he participates more.
And that amazing detail about him training Pan and trying to sing her a lullaby. Secretly.
Ah, yeah, that's gold. Shows those hidden depths that have grown over literally decades of story.
We even get little tidbits about his Namekian lifestyle, like he mostly just drinks water.
Prefers the water from the northern mountains, apparently. Though he'll eat socially sometimes, even if he doesn't need to. Just part of blending in, maybe.
So he settles into this role, the wise, dependable, strategic core of the group.
Which makes what comes next even more of a shocker.
Okay, yeah. Let's get into the recent stuff. The sources talk about this power awakening state first, right?
Well,
before Orange.
Exactly. It's like a preliminary stage. Physical changes happen, skin tone lightens, those lines on his arms vanish, the green gets darker, his get changes color, muscles bulk up. It's described as releasing dormant potential.
Unlocking something already there.
Right. And then Orange Piccolo is presented as like an evolution of that state, a step beyond.
But the way he gets Orange Piccolo, that's really different, isn't it?
It totally is. According to the sources, it came from a wish to Shenron, specifically asking to unlock his potential.
Okay, unlocking potential via wish, maybe that tracks.
But wait, there's more. The orange form itself is described as a bonus boost, granted by Shenron on top of the potential unlock.
A bonus from Shenron. That feels really weird for Dragon Ball power scaling.
It really does. Usually it's intense training or a Saiyan thing or some unique racial transformation. This is wish-based, with extras.
So what does that imply?
Well, the sources suggest it points to maybe a deeper link between Namekians, their latent potential, and their own creation, the Dragon Balls. Like Shenron can tap into something uniquely Namekian for his creator's people.
Huh. That's a really interesting wrinkle.
It definitely stands out. It makes you wonder what else might be possible there.
And the look itself is pretty dramatic.
Oh, yeah. He gets noticeably taller, way bulkier. That bright orange skin, sometimes darker on the forearms.
The eyes change too, right? Red pupils.
Red pupils, black lines around the eyes, more defined cheekbones, stronger jawline, even a broader chin cleft. Some sources compare it slightly to characters like Lord Slug or Polina.
And his antennae get sharper.
Sharply pointed antenna, yeah. Shorter nails. And he keeps those smooth, lineless arms from the power awakening state.
There's also that symbol on his back.
Right, the sources call it a symbol of Namekian pride. Visually, it's like the Ajisa tree turning into an orb connected to an outer circle representing Shenron.
So it ties back to the wish origin visually.
Seems like it. It glows orange at first, then apparently settles into like a white branded mark.
Okay, brass tacks. How strong is this form?
The consensus in the sources is currently his strongest. Puts him right up there, power-wise, with Goku and the others. Top tier.
Wow.
Though there's that one curious detail. Goten and Trunks apparently couldn't sense his ki in this form.
Really? What does that mean?
The sources note it, but don't fully explain it. Maybe it's a different kind of energy, God ki-like. Or just something unique to this Namekian boost. It's ambiguous.
We certainly saw the power in action in the superhero movie.
But yeah, he just tanks Gamma 2's attacks, knocks him out cold with one shot.
He goes toe-to-toe with Cell Max, grabs his foot.
And he uses the great Namekian ability, too, the giant form, while being Orange Piccolo. Though the sources mention the size increase itself adds only a little power on top of the massive orange boost.
He was basically the only one holding the line against Cell Max for a while there.
Definitely. Until he got injured, he was the main obstacle.
And used that demon hand technique to restrain Cell Max at the end, setting up Gohan.
Classic Piccolo tactical play, even with God tier power. And there's that little fun fact about the name.
Oh, yeah.
Piccolo apparently named it Orange Piccolo himself. Why? Because in his own words, he's not good at naming things.
Oh, that sounds exactly right. Pure Piccolo.
And the form's already showing up in video games, so that's definitely cemented in the lore now.
A huge new stage for him.
Absolutely.
So when you step back and look at this whole journey we've just unpacked, Piccolo's arc is just, well, it's extraordinary.
It really is. From a being literally created from pure evil's last gasp.
Through that unexpected shift to protector, mentor, strategist.
And now reaching this completely unforeseen level of power as a Namekian warrior. It's incredible.
His evolution just keeps going, and that mix of his sharp mind and now this immense power makes him so unique in the cast.
He's definitely one of the most consistently compelling characters in the whole series.
It does make you think, though, doesn't it? Considering how this power was unlocked, Shenron just giving a bonus boost on top of potential.
Right, linked directly to the Dragon Balls.
And implying there's maybe this deep, untapped well of Namekian capability connected to their own magic. What else could be hiding there? What other kinds of power, or maybe even forms, are latent within the Namekian race that we just haven't seen yet?
That's the big question it leaves hanging, isn't it? What are the true limits for his people, and what's the full story behind their connection to the Dragon Balls? Leaves you wondering.